You know, it's interesting. Here we are, marriage writers, right? We have a podcast, all that kind of stuff. We get a lot of people writing in through the blog and whatever. And one of the biggest things that they're asking us about and they're struggling with is this topic of loneliness. So here you have a husband and a wife. They're in a human relationship where they're covenantally bound to each other, where there's supposed to be these deep levels of intimacy on every level. And yet they still feel so alone. So I guess the first word of encouragement that I would have for you is just, it comes from Psalm 34, verse 18. The Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves the crushed in spirit. So however you got to your place of loneliness, wherever you find yourself watching this video, just know this. The Lord is near to you if you're brokenhearted. He is near to you if you're feeling crushed in spirit. And you know what? He's never going to leave you alone. So let that be the foundation of how you walk out of this place of loneliness. But just know that in your loneliness, that God is there with you.
Yeah. And it's just interesting. You know, we have social media, we have our kids, we have our coworkers. We're always around people, but more often than not, studies are showing that people are more lonely. They're dealing with more depression, anxiety, and feeling isolated, and especially in marriage. So how do we get past this? What are some ways that we can kind of combat, or, I mean, you're not going to find the answers in a 3-minute video, but we can start with some allegorical trailheads, if you will.
So like Selena said, there's no easy fix. However, we're going to lead you to some trailheads, and there's 5 specific trailheads that we want to kind of take you to, and maybe one of them will lead you out of this place of loneliness. And the first one, it might seem obvious, but it's just clear communication. So you might be feeling lonely, and sometimes we're not the best at communicating that to our spouse, that I actually don't feel like we're emotionally connected. I don't feel like we're unified. I don't feel loved. I feel alone, and when I'm dealing with the kids, or I feel like you're at work too much, or I'm working and you're not supporting it and I feel like it's hard. So sometimes we have to clearly communicate with each other in our moment of loneliness, and that oftentimes is the trailhead that we begin to walk out of that place.
The second trailhead would be correct priorities, and this is going to require some time and taking some steps back and looking at your schedule from a daily to a weekly to a monthly basis, and even possibly a calendar year. What are the big things that are squeezing out and getting the best of you, the best of your time, the best of your resources, your energy, your finances? What are these things, and where's the margin going? Do you have margin in your life? Because typically when we don't have margin, we don't have time to connect and be intentional with each other.
And we tend to isolate and unwittingly and over time. So actually it leads to the third trailhead, which is just simply Christian community. So if you're not part of a Christian community, a local church, a small group setting, then I would say that that's probably a great trailhead for you to start at, because you have to be known to feel loved. And if no one knows you, no one can help you and walk alongside you. So I think as a really practical tip for that, schedule some time. You and your spouse, your husband or your wife, get together with another couple that you hope to learn from, and just sit down and just explain to them how you're feeling. Because oftentimes God has given us, not oftentimes, He has given us the gift of Christian community to walk alongside each other. 1 John 1 says that we should walk in the light as He is in the light. So that we can have fellowship with one another, be known and know others. And oftentimes that will lead us out of this place of loneliness.
Right, which again leads us into this fourth one of getting counseling. And that is nothing to be ashamed of course, but counseling could take on a few different roles as far as actually going to a biblical Christian professional counselor. Maybe that means finding a pastor that you trust, or finding a mentor couple that you both trust and can go to in your loneliness and your brokenness and say, hey, we are dealing with this and we're not really sure how to come out of it or how to work through it. Please help us.
And so the fifth trailhead is actually going to be a reminder of our first thing that we talked about, is remember this, the reality, and believe the reality that Christ is near to the brokenhearted. So it's not just a pat answer. It's not just a, hey, go, pray to Jesus and everything will be better. It's remember deeply that He is near to you in your brokenness, that He is there to be enough for you in your brokenness. So I think as we close out, let's just read that verse one more time. Again, it comes from Psalm 34. It says, the Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves the crushed in spirit. He is with you. He has not abandoned you. He will never abandon you. And He wants you to walk out of this place of loneliness. And I think that starts and finishes with trusting the finished work of Christ on the cross and just basking in that wonderful truth.